Hey everybody, welcome to the Video Podcast Network via Jash and YouTube. We have a wonderful show for you, a great guy. You met him last week, and he's here again. He's positive pushing. You got it. Say hello to your friend and my buddy, Mr. Stephen Brody Stevens. Yes, you got it. Now, I don't know if we went to a screen or not. I just walked out. I felt the energy. Maybe we did a thing. Maybe we didn't. But that's something where you can email me, tweet at us, and say, hey, Brody, try this. All right, I'm going to take a deep breath and breathe in and acknowledge that I'm wearing a hat. It says #enjoy. Well, where did you get that hat done? Denver, Colorado. Off day, oddball tour with Dave Chappelle. Shirt, made it myself via online. It's a one dealer. One deal. Back to now, presently, we are all over America. We are all over the universe. We're here right now in Southern California, and I am Brody, positive pushing. You got it. Let's talk about taking a deep breath. There is traffic today. Parking situation here at the studio lot is difficult. They are shooting a Jay-Z video, I believe, or maybe I saw some extras for a new show titled Silicon Valley. Sounds exciting. But I'm here to relax, and it is about positivity. It's not necessarily physical, mental, spiritual. A lot of times it's about support. It's about friendship. And that's what I'm going to focus on today. You know, last week we had a great show. Steve Agee was here. You would have seen him on The New Girl last week. He plays a reoccurring character. And if you're asking right now, Brody, what's with the beard? What's with the shaggy look? I have to let you know, I do have an audition tomorrow. I'm attempting to play Jerry Garcia in the next Grateful Dead movie, available on Netflix, following Aziz Ansari, buried alive. So we're here having a good time. I'm calm. I did take my Macdonald this morning and a half tab of Klonopin as needed, just to relax. I don't want to rely on that stuff. I want to get into bicycle riding, and I did that today. I woke up at 6 o'clock. I rode to Starbucks. Too crowded. You know, I could have locked my bike up like I normally do at the El Pollo Loco Chicken. They're not open yet. Lock it up. Go to Starbucks. Line out the door. Negativity. Strange staff. I go, you know what? I'm going to keep moving. There's a bike lane. There's a mall. There's a Starbucks. Kept going. Had Starbucks in the mall all to myself. And that's turning a negative into a positive. That's what I did. And sometimes you have to do yin with yang. I go, you know what? I'm going to ride a little extra to the mall, but that means I have to ride a little extra back. And it's going to cut into preparation time. Something suffers. Do I use full soap on the body? Do I shampoo? Maybe I shampoo, but I don't have time for conditioner. There's always good with bad. I'm not saying you have to push back, but sometimes you have to drift. You drift back and push forward. You never push back unless somebody gets in your face. And that's the red zone. We don't go there. Lamictal, a mood stabilizer, keeps me there. So there you go on that. That's an update on this morning. We're positive pushing with Brody. I'm wearing glasses. I've worn these on Chelsea lately. I've worn this hat on the Oddball Tour. It's Dave Chappelle endorsed. And we're going to have fun today. It's about fun. It's about support. It's a little bit about my life and our guest's life. And I think you're going to like it a lot. It's episode 2. It's Positive Push with Brody, Jash, VPN, YouTube, and you. So come on back in just a sec. You got it. Yes. Push and believe. Never quit.
I think her breasts are fantastic, and everyone knows that. Yeah, everyone knows they're fantastic.
They're beautiful.
But I don't mean to objectify her.
No, not at all. We thank her for bringing those in.
I never get thanked for bringing my breasts anywhere. Never.
I like the live people. I like that there are people sitting there watching it, and then now followed us to another spot.
I know.
Like it's like an underground crap game. Like, hey guys, we get thrown out of this joint.
Hello.
Hi, Philip. This is Catherine calling.
Oh, hello, Catherine.
I'm calling because I'd like to come back and work in the office.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Nick Thune's Fan Invasion. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, everybody, and we are back to Positive Push with Brody. Hope you enjoyed the monologue. It went well. Sound like Anthony Jeselnik. He does that. Good guy. Worked with him. All right. Here's the deal. I was getting to how support matters, how having a group of people around you, individuals who are there for you. And as you know, I did have my issues mentally, emotionally, professionally, what have you, a couple years ago. And there's a couple people around me who were there for me, didn't judge me, said, hey, come on in, try this out. And wasn't necessarily smooth in the beginning, but we got to where I am today with the help of this guy. Now, this person we're going to introduce to you is a important player in the podcast game. He's a impresario. He is respected. He is known. He just went over 100,000 followers on Twitter. He's an all-around good guy. I'm going to bring him out right now. He's sitting here. Say hello to Brian Reichel, a.k.a. Redban. Yes, you got it.
How's it going, Brody?
Oh, he's going to the water. We're going right into shtick. I knew that would happen with Brian.
I like your little cute microphone. It's very adorable.
It's a cute microphone.
What's SBS?
Stephen Brody Stevens.
Oh.
You knew that. You know, I think Brian knows this. When I was having, my problems and podcasting, you do a lot of podcasting.
We were podcasting during your big problems.
We were podcasting a couple of years ago during my big problems. I would say, Brian was doing video podcasts, not unlike this, out of his home in the Valley. And he said, why don't you come on down and shoot some of these podcasts? And before that, what were you doing? Give us a little background on what you were doing prior to 2 years or where you were at that point.
My main job is working for Joe Rogan. I follow him around and document his life, or I was.
That's where I first met you.
And so I was always recording him and making these little cute movies. And I was trying to find a way out of doing all this video editing. So then podcast came around and I decided to jump on that. So we could, do video with Joe and not have to edit it. So it would be just like a long conversation instead of taking all these conversations and making a cute little 10-minute movie about it. So
you were doing, when you started working with Joe, I remember those early days at the Comedy Store, and then you saw me, you tell me later that you remember when I did warm-up at the Man Show and I was clapping, you didn't know, and all that, Brody, who is this guy telling us to clap?
It was rough.
It was rough.
It was scary.
Why were you scared?
Because I was scared of you. As an audience member, you were very Hitler-esque, I guess.
Hitler-esque as a Jewish guy. Thanks a lot. We have to see. We're going there with Brian. I say, Brian, let's.
Well,
Hitler-esque is a rough word for the Jash Network, unless you're Sarah Silverman.
You were screaming at us as an audience and made us clap, and we didn't want to clap anymore, and you just were very harsh on us.
Now I'm going to tell you something. As I look in this camera, Brian, I've done over 2,500 television audience warm-ups. I was told to crank the crowd, get the girls to show themselves via a T-shirt, and I did that, and I cranked the audience, and I am calmer now. I'm more mature. My testosterone is at a certain level, so I understand you were scared, but that's the job.
I mean, you were very,
I was buff, but let's talk about positive.
Right.
We're talking about me yelling. We're talking about that. I want to get to the fact that that's kind of where we're at. I'm glad you brought that up, because when I first did a video podcast with you at your house, I was like out of control a little bit.
You were.
And I mentioned it here earlier in my first show or maybe in these meetings that when you're doing a video podcast, it's like, do you play to the camera? Do you play to your guest? Do you play to the podcast? And I was kind of confused a little bit early on.
Like sexuality?
No. I am 10% gay, and that's been
yes.
documented.
I'm sorry about the recent typhoon. I hope everything's okay.
Everything's fine over in the Philippines. Okay, so I went and did your show, and I was screaming and yelling, and that was the time I just had left Chelsea Lately. So I was done doing warm-up at Chelsea Lately, where I did a nice job because I learned from the Man Show. And I was looking to do my own thing. I had this instinct, let's do it. So when I did the video podcast, I was kind of in yours. I was kind of in that next phase of my life. What am I going to do next? I'm going to give them Brody. So I remember I went on your show and I'd have comedians on in your room. Sometimes I would talk, sometimes I would yell, and more times than not I would yell.
Yeah, there was an episode where you made the guest cry, and I had to go outside and calm down the guest.
Okay, I attacked. I was in character, and yes, my roommate did move out over that podcast.
The following,
I lost a roommate over a podcast.
There was parts where it was so scary. I thought you were going to kill us all. That
But I'm not violent.
I
said
didn't know
I had
that.
a gun on Twitter once.
Right. I had like a little scoreboard. Remember, every time you scared me, I added points.
Right.
And
Okay. So here's the deal.
you were very scary.
All right. Well, we're focusing on this. We're focusing on scary. These are negative words.
Remember,
so far, if we had a clicker, which you claim to have on your show,
Right.
we would have had Hitler, scary, frightened. These are negative words, and that could be for another episode. But I want to really focus on honesty, and that by doing those shows early on, by getting the negative feedback that I got, mostly from, I called them UFC guys, mouth breathers, anti-Semitic, child molesters, jerks, everything. And then I would tweet back, and I would just get my heart rate up. But then I started thinking, like, you know, maybe they are right. You're doing a podcast, and they're hearing you yell in their ear. Not good. Then they see you on the video screaming and yelling at a friend who may or may not be on the bid. If you know me, okay, maybe it's funny. If you don't know me that well, you're scared, you're turning it off or whatever. So as much as it bothered me with all the negative stuff, it helped me. You know, it helped get me, you know, back on track. And then doing all your shows. See, Brian, tell us a little bit about you. You are the leader, the creator of the Death Squad. Now, to me, you think Death Squad, you're thinking, you know, more violence. But I'm not going to go against the Death Squad name, because when you're a comedian, you kill, you crush. It's that kind of idea. So tell us a little bit about Death Squad. I know you talked a little bit how it came about, but recently, let's catch up on Death Squad and what's been going on.
Recently, we've been doing a lot of live shows. If you don't know what Death Squad is, it's a collection of podcasts that friends of mine that are comics usually. I do some porn podcasts also, just so I can get laid. But it's gotten to a point where it's growing more and more, as you know, and so I've been trying to add more live elements to it. So we've been doing a lot of live shows lately.
You'll do them out in Pasadena at the Ice House.
Ice House and the Comedy Store.
Comedy Store.
Yeah, and what's cool about it for the first time is that we get to actually show a lot of the comics on stage. We have a show that we mix improv with stand-up comedy. And we also have another show that's kind of like American Idol for open micers. So
Kill Tony, that's a new popular
yeah.
podcast. They had Doug Benson on, Mark Maron. And that, for me, Kill Tony, Tony Hinchcliffe, at the Comedy Store, it's like when they had the podcast festival, and it was already doing well, and then to get Mark Maron on and Doug Benson on the same episode really kind of solidified and validated that show. That's a new one that's really...
Yeah, and if you don't know, that show also, we have a security guard that's dressed up in full Iron Man outfit, like with the lights on the hands and everything like that, and he's got a foot fetish.
He's got a foot fetish.
And it's a really ridiculous combo. But that's what's interesting about Death Squad is because we've grown from, you know, my bedroom, me and you, hanging out in bed after a night of hard sex.
Like hard. I'm hearing sex. These are not positive terms, but that's okay. Brian's a good guy. And I'm going to get back to how he helped me. We're going to still continue on this segment. We are not going to break. I'm extending it. I'm making an executive decision. Continue, Brian. You're doing it.
But we've grown from, just doing regular podcasts where, after a while, there's only so many podcasts where it's two comics talking to another comic that's been on all the other It's just, it's so diluted nowadays. So recently I've been trying to move on to more, almost what would be considered like pilots of TV shows.
Yeah.
You
got real interesting topics. You got a wide variety of shows. Yes, you've got the live shows, you've got the technology shows, you've got the pornography shows.
Right.
And I like, you had the new comedians coming out. You're very comedy friendly, and you are doing your own thing. It's not. I feel like you're associated with Joe and all that stuff, but you have definitely created your own niche where you stand alone. Redban. That's a name. That's kind of you've earned that, and you just recently. If you want to go ahead and tell the live audience, you had great news today. It's fun news, and I think he's excited about it. I'm going to let Brian go ahead and address your camera right there and let the audience in on the great news.
You didn't give me herpes?
Will you stop with the herpes? Brian, this is an opportunity.
What's the good news?
This is a shtick-free
no idea
zone.
what you're talking
This is a
about.
shtick-free zone. You want me to do the good news?
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stephen Brody Stevens. Welcome to Positive Push. My guest here today is Brian Reichel, a.k.a. Redban, and this morning here on the West Coast at approximately 8:23 a.m., this gentleman sitting here to my right went over the 100,000 follower number on Twitter, and that means a lot to me. Give it up for Brian Reichel, Redban.
You already said that.
Sex, herpes, pornography, helping young comedians. But I want to get to seriousness. The death squatters have evolved as well. The fans, they would come after me. You're a jerk, you're an a-hole, to the point where I told Brian, you got to take this thing down. So he took the video down, and then I really, through Brian's guidance and these other guys, is like, just chill, just talk. You don't want to be all that, save that for the live show. But the podcasting was talking. I had my own show, and it's not officially off the air. We're on hiatus. Brody and Esther. Brian gave me the opportunity for that to kind of soften my image. Have a female on the set. Listen. He really got me into listening and not yelling, preaching. So I think in the ears of the podcast listener. So the fans have been nothing but supportive. Brian has Death Squad fans all over the country. I've done shows in Columbus, Ohio, Toronto, Texas, the Bay Area, and they always come out. They're very supportive. And they've become a better comedy audience. You get the Doug Bensons on. You get the Stephen Brody Stevenses. You get the Joe Rogans. You're getting Bill Burr. I think Bill Burr was recently on the show. You get big comedic names, and I feel like your audience is growing with them as well.
I think it's great for comedy. The whole podcasting thing, is for once we have an audience that knows us so much. They know us more than my best friends. If they sit there and listen to podcasts, they know more secrets and stories than a person I've known for 30 years.
Yeah.
And because they're getting it digest, or they're listening to it every day. They're listening to almost a book report on me and you and everybody else every day. So when we have a comedy show in, our country, like Toronto, we
and no mayor jokes. I like that.
No, that mayor's hilarious.
He's funny. That guy is funny. If you've seen the most recent video of the mayor of Toronto, the guy is sprinting through the House of Representatives, knocks over some old lady, tries to pick her up, sprints. The guy's in good shape. You have to admit, the guy is active.
His approval rating's going up. Did you know that?
It's crazy.
Like before all this crazy shit, I think it was 37%, and the latest one was 43%, his approval rating.
I think it's great for Toronto tourism.
I think it's okay. He's doing really well as a mayor.
He's doing well as a mayor, and you know what? It is, I can't defend crack smoking, pot smoking. Yes, I don't know what else he's done, but,
Have you ever taken crack?
No, I have not taken crack. I've smoked it. You got it. Wordplay with Brian Reichel, a.k.a. Redban. But I do want to say, before we'll go to a break here, and I'm being serious. Doing those podcasts the live ones, the Ice House Chronicles, where we'll get 5 or 6 comedians around. We just talk, and then it's like one will go away. Go do the stand-up show. Go do 15 minutes in there, Death Squad. Sometimes it's intimate, sometimes it's bigger, but you get a real feel. You could see that these people who are listening are like good, supportive people. They come out to the shows. It's not like you don't get to see them, and then when you go on the road. And I just want to say for you to give me that time and that opportunity after I went crazy, go nuts, he's scared, he gave me herpes, that you like allowed me to go in there, do the Brody and Esther. I have an open invite for every show at the Ice House. That makes me feel good. I know other comedians don't have that opportunity. And when I was down and, going through stuff, Brian helped me. So.
Do you talk about anything else other than your past? Do you ever talk about
I talk about the future.
Do you?
You know what the future is? Next week, next Tuesday. What else is the future? My half-hour special on Comedy Central.
Oh.
What else is the future? My good friend just signed a 2-year contract with the Chicago Cubs. Not bench player, in the coach. That's positive. Oh, go on my website. Tons of photos. But this is real. This is emotional, and you talk about the past. And yes, I'm moving forward. Have you seen growth in me since the 2 years ago?
I don't know. Let's make it like.
I've seen growth. I've seen growth. Having this show, having you here, and I'm being serious. This is strict free. We're gonna go to break right now. We got emotional. I cried. Hopefully, we can use this footage of me breaking down and use it on my Comedy Central show, which premieres December 1st. We'll try and iMovie that in. In the meantime, we'll take a little break. I'm gonna have a sip of water. We're gonna regroup here, and we'll be back with Brian Redban, Reichel, and Stephen Brody Stevens on Positive Push. You got it. Enjoy.
Rocky. Raise money to make the picture, from you guys a fan.
Got a lot of good prizes. $1 million. What'd he get?
You gotta walk on in the picture.
Can I just pitch my movie real quick?
Yeah.
Is that your body, or are you just absorbing water? See, I feel like I have to roast.
Please don't do that to Miss Natasha. I got high with Hendrix once.
I forgot Jesse was still here.
Bubble butt, bubble butt, bubble butt, bubble butt, bubble butt, bubble butt. Turn around, stick it out, show the world you got it.
Drop it low, put it in the dirt.
Never gonna give you love, never gonna down you down, never gonna put them down. And my dear, never gonna drop that love, never gonna thank you now, never gonna harm it
I do shtick on your show. It's like we come here, we talk, about health. There's people at home. You're kissing me. Great. All right. We're back. Hey, everybody. Stephen Brody Stevens here with Brian Redban, a.k.a. Reichel, and we're having a great time. I talked to Brian during the break about keeping it real. I am sensitive. I did break down. Brian might have been uncomfortable with that. People in the room may have been uncomfortable with that. But you, listening right now, farming or cleaning out your garage, or you're in a cubicle, or you're doing, you're coding in by hand HTML, you're listening to me and you go, this guy broke down. He broke down and he picked himself back up, and then he broke down again. And, it's like nothing's guaranteed in life. You know where I parked today? In the bottom of the parking structure. I drove in thinking, hey, I'm gonna park right next to the studio. No way, you're down in the dungeon. But you know what? I just smiled. I walked up. In fact, I saw a piece of garbage on the ground. It was a Starbucks wrapper, and I felt, as a Starbucks consumer, I needed to pick up that wrapper and throw it somewhere else. No, I put it in the trash. But we're here with Brian.
Look at your body posture. Is that how you sit on the toilet?
It
also?
looks
good.
You're just like,
You're like
I don't
this.
sit on the toilet.
You're ready to jump.
No, you want to talk about toilet stuff? I'll talk about that.
Let's talk about toilet stuff.
Okay.
Let's
There's a
go
lot
for
of
it.
people who stand on the toilet. There's people at Starbucks. I keep talking about Starbucks. You go in there, and there will be
footprints.
There'll be footprints on the toilet.
That's kids.
Oh, well, these are adults. I've measured. I've measured the shoes. So they are on there. I think they do that to be clean. Actually, that is the proper way to have a bowel movement, is to be, if you can get me here, to be squatted down. When you're like this, I hate to be graphic, but if you are going to be graphic on a day, you want Brian Redban from Death Squad here. If you're like this, you're open. You're open. There's a clear pathway. You have to look at the animal kingdom. You know, they don't use baby wipes. We do. Is my phone ringing?
It's just, a
Okay.
Hollywood movie star.
You know who just called me? Why don't you tell me? Who was it? What did it say? And I should have picked it up.
Zach Galifianakis.
There you go. Zach Galifianakis just called in the middle of the show, and I didn't pick it up. I heard the vibration. Should I call him back? Should you want me to call back, Zach? Yes. I'm getting a thumbs up. Somebody from the higher ups said, call back Zach. We're going to go ahead and do it right now.
So you don't sit on the toilet, because here's how I think. Those toilets are cleaned every day, right?
Let's keep it clean, but we're going to call Zach.
All right. You just need to build up your immune system. You should just sit down on it. You shouldn't step on it.
Zach, hello? I'm practicing. Hello, Zach. Hi. Hello. Well, he ain't picking up. What are you, in a meeting with Bradley Cooper for the prequel to The Hangover? You don't disrespect me, Zach. I've got a show on the Video Podcast Network, Jash, YouTube. I'm here with a power player, Redban. You got it, earned his 100,000 followers. Good guy, gave me the opportunity to become a better podcaster. And I'll tell you what, Joe Rogan would always say podcasting is like a cross gym. If you're a comedian or if you're, or a podcaster, obviously that's going to help. But a comedian, a live performer, the podcasting is a real benefit. And as you can see right now, I'm slowing it down. There's nobody right now who's going to click away because I'm talking. I'm gentle. Brian. You work a lot. What do you do?
You want to go back to the toilets?
No, I don't want to go back to the
all
toilets. I want to go back to your regimen. I mean, do you take care of yourself physically? Do you exercise? Do you take certain?
I walk to Starbucks every day.
Okay, you
It's
walk
like
to
3
Starbucks.
blocks.
It's
like
3 blocks, and you get a
Trenta iced coffee with 5 Splendas.
You got me started on. You don't get sweet. You say put in 5 Splendas.
I used to not do it because I felt bad of them having to open all those packets.
Right.
But then I was like, why am I doing this?
Well, because you're a nice guy.
Yeah, but after a while they should.
So you have them cut it? Do they use scissors?
No, they sit there.
They just rip.
Rip it all up. Yeah.
What about the pumps? Don't they have the pumps?
I don't want the syrup.
Why do you not want the
syrup?
syrup?
That's calories. I'd rather have brain cancer than calories.
Okay, so that's what's going through your head.
Yeah.
So you get that. Do you walk back home?
Then I walk back home. That's my exercise.
That's your exercise.
And then I'll have sex. Usually that's a little bit of exercise.
That's exercise.
Right.
Okay.
But that's I need to work out. Like I have this problem that we hang out at the comedy clubs all the time. When you're at the comedy clubs, you're not a drinker.
I'm not a drinker. I can't, especially not with Lexapro or Lamictal. If I drank, it could be a serious situation. If I smoke pot, I'm fine, and I do get resistance on that. I can handle marijuana, but you know what? No, I can't handle alcohol, and I don't do it. And if I was drinking alcohol and taking antidepressants and taking Klonopin and taking Lamictal and taking Zocor for cholesterol and I was drinking, yeah, step in. Step in, get me help. Smoking pot? In doing that? No. Please back off. I know my body. So, do you want to get more exercise? You were just getting into that.
Recently it's just getting out of hand. Drinking. So
You're drinking,
yeah,
okay.
So I've been trying to slow down, and it's amazing if you I stopped for almost a week, and it's amazing. You start having solid poops again.
Can we move away from that? This is a positive, shtick-free, shit-free show.
Well, I'm talking.
But you're being
sure,
real.
I'm
He's being real. I'll let Brian be real. I'm not going to shut him down. I'm not a dream killer. I'm going to let the guy who picked me up when I was down, when I was depressed, when I was in tears, when I was nervous that my stand-up opportunity on Conan O'Brien wasn't going to go well. This guy was there for me. You're doing it, Brody. You're getting better. You would always go. You would say to me after these shows at the Ice House or the Comedy Store, you would say, "Hey, you are peaking. You're in your stride." You would say that to me. I remember that stuff. So you really kept me going, and I'm loyal to friends. Obviously, he likes to talk bowel movements, physically get into it. But I did too. So go ahead, continue.
So yeah, I've been. It's amazing though, like when you drink so much and then like I feel my tongue again.
You feel your tongue again? That's nice.
Yeah, like I could taste things again.
Your taste buds are back. Well, what are the other benefits that you've noticed from not drinking alcohol for a week?
Like the people you bring home.
You bring home.
Yeah.
Okay, so bad decisions. I think that's a bit. But we're going to go with it. Go ahead.
Bad decisions, just bad.
I'm talking in the last week.
Oh, in the
so
last.
what's positive happened from you not drinking when that week period?
Like waking up, like feeling normal.
Waking up feeling normal.
No hangovers.
No hangover.
Or
which
hangover
I was in.
juice,
You got it. We call this place Loserville. What else?
No, it's like bloating. Do you know like when you drink you get bloated, right?
Yeah.
And like bags under your eyes.
Bags under
your eyes. You
eyes.
just look like shit.
All right, so you cut out for a week, or are you going to try and continue that?
I think I'm just going to try to like only drink when I, once in a while.
You know
and
what I
not hang out at the Comedy Store as much. I think that's the biggest problem.
Well, the Comedy Store is it's like a country club for craziness and all that stuff. But again, even the Comedy Store, people talk about, I consider, you're in the comedy community and all that stuff, and I would definitely say, and even specifically the Comedy Store, which gets a bad rap for being a dark place and, rough. And yeah, there are crazy people that show up. It is kind of like, everyone's welcome. But those guys there have been very supportive of me as well. The comedians of Los Angeles are very supportive. New York, it's a little more cutthroat. It is a little more territorial. I'm a stand-up. I'm this. This is what I want to do. LA comedy, I think, is a little more supportive. You help me, I help you. I scratch your back, you shave mine. Something like that. But I was just along the lines for people who go to the Comedy Store. I don't want to go to that place. I say go to that place. Sift through. Yeah, you're going to see some wackos. And you're going to see some bitter, I'm not even bitter people, but you're going to find goodness. Brian hangs out there. He's a good guy. He can go to other clubs. He is at other clubs, but he spends his time at the Comedy Store, and it's always good to see you there. And
when you drink a lot of beer, also, it's got a lot of hobs and yeast in it.
So you're cutting that out.
Yeah, but it also male yeast infections when you drink a lot of beer. It's very common. So that was getting out of control.
Male yeast infection.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then put some Lamictal.
No, you just
Lamisil on it, excuse me.
It's Monistat 7. You just rub it on the outside.
So you're aware of that. The drinking, you feel better. You want to exercise more? It feels like you want to exercise more.
I just hate exercise.
That's a negative word. Hate.
No.
Stop
I mean,
that
do
word.
you like when you exercise? Are you like, this is awesome?
Yeah.
I
don't feel good.
That. I don't feel that.
Okay, why don't we start off with the bicycle ride? That's what I've been doing lately.
I went on a bicycle ride. I bought a bike. And,
Good.
And I bought a helmet because I felt like I'm old now, so I have to wear a helmet.
You're not old. You're in your early 30s, aren't you?
No, I'm almost 40.
Okay,
I'm 39.
You're not old. 33. See, I thought you were because you're not drinking alcohol. You look like you're in your early 30s.
Don't get violent.
I'm not violent.
But I bought a bike, and I'm like, okay, I got a bike.
And you're in a great area for bicycles.
Yes, Burbank. And then I went around one of these curves, and there was like a little thing in the road, little.
It's called a bump or a speed bump. Yeah.
And instead of going over that, my bike just stopped, and I flipped over the whatever.
Why?
I don't know.
All right. Well, you might need a lesson. I'll tell you what, Brian. I'm willing to do this. Because we essentially live on the same street, probably about maybe 4 miles apart. I keep knocking over the water. I'm bowling here. It was a 1-10 split.
You're not even sitting on the chair. You're sitting on the end of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't that hurt your butt?
No, it feels good. Am I engaging my core?
You keep on touching my leg, too. I could see it.
Will you stop with that's my 10%. All right, listen. I'm going to tell you this, because you talked about getting a bike. I have a bicycle. I just got it tuned up. I'll say this, Brian, I will ride my bicycle one morning, or maybe 2 mornings, over to your house.
That's great.
Okay?
I love it. If you ride your bike
I'll ride my
overnight- all right.
bicycle to your house. Then we'll go to Starbucks. We'll walk even. I'll lock it up. We'll walk to Starbucks or ride there. Have a Trenta. Splenda. I'm a pump guy. You're a Splenda guy.
You're not worried about those calories?
No, because we're going to bike ride. And then we'll go for like a 45-minute, maybe an hour, just me and you. We'll ride around Burbank. I know there's good trail. An hour, 45 minutes. Get your heart rate up a little bit. Breathe the air. You with me. We're just relaxing. And then you go, and it might give you that extra energy. And then you'll feel some endorphins. Endorphins are real. I don't love, like, I see my kettlebells. Everyone goes, Brody, you're a kettlebell guy. It's kind of hard to get back into weights. You start off slow, stretching. I could go into that, but we're running short on time. Heavy weights? No. Bike ride. So you fell off your bike.
What about rollerblading? Because I bought rollerblades after my bike accident.
That's a little gay, and that's okay.
Wait, what?
I won't ask, won't tell.
Why is that gay?
I'd actually like to try rollerblading.
It's fun.
Okay, then let's...
Didn't you enjoy roller skating as a kid?
Yeah.
Well, imagine roller skating, but instead of going around in a circle, you're going around the whole neighborhood.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's do
awesome.
this. I like that you brought that up.
Right.
I am willing to get rollerblades.
All right. I got.
You
mine.
have rollerblades?
Yeah, and I got the knee pad. You got to get the knee
What do
pads.
I
on
need?
it. You need the rollerblades, helmet, knee pads, everything, because there's no brakes on knee pads.
Okay.
Or I mean on rollerblades. And so I've already been in a few accidents.
Okay.
I fell on a guy's cock. And...
Will you not stop? Come on. We're going to edit that one out. So I'll get rollerblades.
All right.
Okay? And we'll do that. That's a positive. That's believable. He's not just saying it to say it. So we're going to go to a break. We'll stick around. Brian has a show tonight, by the way, tomorrow night up in San Francisco at the Punchline. He could leave right now to beat traffic, but I'm sensing that he's going to stick around for the next segment while we take some questions from the internet. We take questions from the internet. We'll have a little chat, then I'll do my final thing. So we'll be back in just a second. Redban, Brody. 3, 2, 1. Redban, Brody, positive push. You got it. We'll be back after these commercial messages.
I think her breasts are fantastic, and everyone knows that. Yeah, everyone knows they're fantastic.
They're beautiful.
But I don't mean to objectify her.
No, not at all.
Not
we
at
thank her for bringing those in.
I never get thanked for bringing my breasts anywhere. Never.
I like the live people. I like that there are people sitting there watching it, and then now followed us to another spot.
I know.
Like it's
That's
it's like an underground crap game. Like, hey guys, we get thrown out of this joint.
Hello.
Hi, Philip. This is Catherine calling.
Oh, hello, Catherine.
I'm calling because I'd like to come back and work in the office.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Nick Thune's Fan Invasion. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Positive Push with Stephen Brody Stevens. I'm your host. I'm here today with Redban from the Death Squad Network, and we actually have some questions here. I'm going to shuffle them up. I don't know. This is from people who have called or tweeted in. All right, here's one. We can both. Oh, this one is a connection. I just saw a connection.
Oh.
I just saw a connection.
Nice.
All right, so listen to this. Do you have any plans? I guess this we'll say for both of us. Do you have any plans to perform near Cincinnati anytime soon? We need the positive push, AKA or at Hayes Twote.
They do need positive.
Okay, Cincinnati. Why is that a connection when I say Cincinnati?
Because I'm from Ohio.
There you go. What are the odds that I pick a question completely arbitrary? Is that a word? Or by chance? I don't know those meanings. But Cincinnati, Ohio, Brian, Death Squad, Columbus. In fact, I have a friend, Carey Price, who I grew up with, Reseda High School, number 72, offensive line, is getting married. Where's he moving to? I just learned it today. Columbus, Ohio, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes. So,
well, if you're going to move to Ohio, you definitely want to move to Columbus.
Columbus
Because
is a good town.
unfortunately, Cincinnati and Cleveland, they're not having the best of times anymore. So that's why she needs a positive push in Cincinnati.
Okay, I'll
because-
go down there.
Yeah.
Big Red Machine. I'll hang out with that. I know you don't like sports. We won't cover that. Here's another one. Are we? I don't like
Yes,
that
yes,
one.
we are.
Okay,
That's
going.
an
Okay,
amazing
that's a good question.
Why would
okay.
you? That's
All
the
right, I
best
didn't know.
question. Why would you?
So now learn. Okay, teach me.
Yes, we are
Okay,
living in a.
hold on.
All right.
Are we living in a simulation? This is from Chad Calderon. I just kind of passed over it. You didn't.
No, because
Okay,
we are
so
living
tell
in
us
a
about
simulation.
that. What does that mean?
There's a theory that we are all living in a simulation. Like this right now is all a simulation, and like you're a program, not a very good one. And
You're negative. That's negative. That's negative energy. How dare you?
But they're finding things like real scientists are finding like in DNA, they're finding computer code, like the same code formulas used in HTML, they're finding in DNA. So there's like some things, scientists that are like, wait a second, there might be something to it. So maybe in the future, we are all on like an iPhone 500 and we are playing The Sims. And you're probably like on an Android device, not on iPhone.
I'm iPhone, but we do give off energy. The human body really does give off energy.
Right,
so
that's
that's true also.
Right.
So maybe if we held hands, we could, you know.
Are you trying to hold my hand again?
No, I'm not.
Yes,
Oh, and then
yes,
speaking of that, okay, and speaking of that, Brody, ask Brian about the Dolphins hat on his head. Wait, let me read again. Brody, ask Brian about the Dolphins on his hat. Is that a sexual reference? Javaho Nation. I'm not wearing the hat, which is kind of funny. I am 10% gay, openly.
12.
I had an experience in several continents. Brian, tell us real quick about the dolphin hat that you usually wear.
I love dolphins, and I just got the hat because there's 2 dolphins on it. And
You love dolphins. You love what's going on down there with the 2 guys fighting over each other, calling them the N-word. You know about that?
I'm not talking about the gay dolphins. I'm talking about the
go
regular
ahead.
dolphins.
All right, regular dolphins.
Yeah, I've touched the dolphin's vagina. You've never done that before.
You know what? There used to be Marine Land down in Palos Verdes where Donald Trump bought up the land and made a golf course. But if you went to Marine Land, they had dolphins there and you could touch a dolphin. I've touched a blowhole.
Have you seen a dolphin's vagina?
I don't
before?
want to. I don't want to. I know it's interactive. I don't want to. I refuse to look at it. It's negative energy.
It's not negative.
Brody, can you give George Zimmerman some positive advice? Hey, George, it's Brody here. How you doing? I don't know if you get access to YouTube while you're locked up, because you are locked up.
Yeah.
You got aggressive. I don't know what
What's his
happened this
problem?
time. You know, George, you look good with the beard. I know you're trying to maybe conceal your identity. You look good with the beard. It's shaped well, but you're speeding in Texas. You're carrying guns. You're fighting your ex-girlfriend in Florida.
Shouldn't he be like, all
There's
right,
a
I got
pattern
out.
here.
Yeah,
There's a pattern.
Him and the Toronto mayor need to get in a house together. That's a reality show.
That's a reality
right
show,
there.
Big Brother. I like
Yeah.
that. All right, we'll do one more question, then we got to wrap it up. Brian, you're doing great, by the way.
Thanks. You look great.
What are you, 10% gay?
I mean, except for the scar.
Stop talking about my scar.
And why didn't you shave? I mean,
I didn't
you
shave
looked-
because I want to look like you.
Oh.
Stop getting me going. I got to relax. And that's part of positive pushing, is when someone is coming at you trying to get a rise.
Turn it around. Make it positive.
Well, you don't, not just turn around, you just kind of move out of the way, kind of Jedi magic it. We'll do one more question, then we'll wrap it up. Thank you for being here. I just got out of a relationship, and you've been in relationships, and I think you're in one now. I just got out of relationship. That's what it says. So it does. I just got out of relationship, and I have a broken heart. What do you suggest I do to not be lonely? I can give that answer, but I'll let you go ahead. And this is from Galatians 3.
Get laid as fast as possible, too. That helps you forget, and if you can't get laid that easy, go to massage parlor, go to rubmaps.com. It's
Rub Maps?
Yeah,
okay. Can we link that on Rug Maps?
Yeah, Rub Maps.
Rub Maps.
It's like Yelp
It's
for
like
massage.
Google Maps?
No, it's like Yelp for massage parlors.
Okay,
So
I
you
like
do-
it.
Yeah.
All right, so you would say have sex. You have sex.
I love sex. Do
All right,
you like
and you're
sex?
a guy.
You don't have sex. You haven't had sex in a long time.
I've had sex probably within the 4-month window.
Like when you have sex, does it come out and smell like cheese and stuff? Like
Again, where are these cheese and the smell reference?
Because you have it.
Hold on, Brian.
What?
I take care of myself physically.
Okay.
I understand prostate issues. I understand. I'm not like that. I'm healthy. I take protein.
Is the medication hurt you getting hard or anything?
Actually, there are sexual side effects.
There is.
And we can get into that on the next show. Brian, I'm glad you came by.
Thank you.
You mean a lot to me.
You mean more to me.
I knew you would kind of like take it off the rails with some darkness, but that's who you are. That's who you are, and I accept you for that because, like I said, and I won't cry this time, you were there for me when I needed you, and you did that. And then all the fans, the Death Squad family, very supportive of me. If it wasn't for that experience that I went through with Brian, I probably wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't be I'd be a yelling guy, and like who'd want to work with him. Maybe I would figure it out, but you certainly
I'm so happy for you, Brody.
You expedited that process.
I'm so happy for you, Brody. You've really just grown since I've met you. You're an awesome human being.
And you know what? That's a real moment from Brian. We got it. So I'm going to go ahead and stand up. I'll approach that camera with a final thought from me, Stephen Brody. Hi, everybody. You have just witnessed another version, episode 2 of Positive Push with Stephen Brody Stevens. We had a great episode. We learned a lot about podcasting. We had a lot of good talk with Brian. Brian, stop tickling me. So listen, work hard, have a great time. Stop it, Brian.
I was going to hold you like homecoming.
Right. Okay. Rollerblade.
He's nervous.
I'm not nervous.
You're getting nervous.
I'm not nervous. Bicycle, all that good stuff. Brody is me friend on Twitter. Brian, what's your handle? Redban. And check out the Joe Rogan stuff, the Death Squad stuff, our YouTube page, Jash, VPN. I think I covered it all. I had a fun show.
I did too, Brody.
Guys joking. I'm a professional. Hey, we'll wrap it up. We'll see you next week. You got it. Yes. Meow.